Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany, and today we are going to look at the July subscription kit from Atlas Stationery on their Hollywood inks. I finally got my box, and now we're going to open them up. Take a look. Oh, awesome. So this is an Atlas Stationery sticker, which is cool. Now I can put that in my journal. We do get their postcard, which is their most current postcard. So this is, of course, the July subscription box. And cool. Let's take it all out. So nice thing is that we don't have any, or at least I don't have any of these inks in my collection. So we have the Conklin fountain pen ink in Dusty Rose. This is actually my first Conklin ink. We'll have the Pelican Ink of the Year Appetite. I don't have that, but I've been wanting to get that one. And then we have Colorverse Butterfly Nebula Glistening. I only have one other Colorverse ink, and it is not this one. So I'm excited to test these out and begin using them. So I want to keep up with my coloring, and so I have 4 cards. I'm not quite sure if my Colorverse has 2 different colors or if it's just 2 bottles of the same color. So I'll have to look into that. But I have an extra card just in case. If not, it would just be the 3 inks. And then we're also going to test the color on the Galen Leather Everyday Pad, which is just Tomoe River paper. And let's get started. So I have my watercolor brush, and I am pulling out my dip pen, glass dip pen, and I think that's all I'm going to use. Yes. And then I have, of course, my ink or my water, and then I want to get started. So first things, we're going to go with Pelican Eelstein Ink of the Year. I don't think this was the Ink of the Year. This must have been last year, maybe. It wasn't too long ago. I think the Ink of the Year for this year is like pink or something, but I'm so excited. I love the Eelstein bottles. They're really pretty and classy looking. And this is, I think, 30 mLs of ink, which, no, it's 50 mLs of ink. It looks like some of the 30 ml bottles. I think that's why I thought. And it has that really nice thick rim top. So I have my water brush or my watercolor brush, and I'm just going to saturate that. And what I've been doing is just, oh, look how pretty that is. Making a line across the top and then down the side. And I realized I should have written the name of the ink first. And then I do something like that. And rinse my brush and repeat. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I am going to move on to the next ink. But I really do like this color. It's vibrant and it looks a little blue on screen. It's more of a teal to me. I want to say it has some really good shading properties, or at least some of the other Eelstein inks I have do. And it's also a very saturated ink, which is one of my favorites. So I'm going to put that off to the side so that it can dry. Moving on to the next one, which is Conklin. And again, this is my first Conklin ink. This is a very, it looks old school type of ink bottle. And there's a plastic film on it. Let's see. Okay. pretty. So I wonder if the color looks more like the shade on the box, which is more purple, or if it looks more like what's in the cap. Dusty Rose. So that is an interesting color. Okay, so let's see how it performs. Ooh. Okay, so it looks more purple in person. But definitely really pretty, really unique. Actually, it's quite different when I print it using the dip pen, but it's darker, so it's more saturated color, meaning that I can use it just about anywhere and won't have to worry about it being too light. Because when I think of Dusty Rose, I think of a really pale pink color. Okay, so last but not least, let's look at Colorverse. Colorverse has some very unique bottle packaging. And we get just a card. Ooh, and the card explains that we have 2 different colors. So I will be using 2 of my coloring papers. And let's see how these colors look. So, whoa, this is very interesting. So we have 2 bottles. Let's do the small bottle first. And if we put them side by side, the colors almost look pretty similar in the bottle, but they are going to be different according to the paper. So this color, which is NGC 6302, 15 mLs, is going to be like this green shade. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake and try to open. Okay, so for those who do buy a lot of Colorverse inks, how do you use this for your pen? Are you putting it in a pipette or a syringe and then inking up your pen, or what? Because this is a very narrow opening. So Colorverse seems very light, and this is in GC 6302. Okay, instantly off the bat, this color reminds me of a sailor color. Really light. Okay, next and last but not least is the larger bottle. And you can see there's some glitter at the bottom. some silver glitter, just trying to get that all mixed in. And it looks really pretty when it's mixed. It's like a blue-green color. And this one is called Butterfly Nebula Glistening. This is a 65 ml bottle. I like this color. Butterfly Nebula. But it's also really light. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, since it most likely will be hard to read. But yes, very light color. Interesting. It looks like a periwinkle blue, but very desaturated to me. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry and come back and show you all of the samples side by side. Okay, friends, so here are my final thoughts. I completely damaged my glass dip pen. This was working perfectly. I got this from Amazon under $15, and it's actually like really nice wood. It's not super squeaky. It's very has some weight to it, and I accidentally switched it around in a glass container, and it cracked the tip. So now it doesn't write very well. So I switched to my reliable Kakimori, which I don't know why I didn't just use this in the first place. Anyway, so you can see the first two were written with this pen, and then the last two were written with this pen. So final thoughts. I actually am really happy this month with everything in general. I don't have any of these colors. Is one, so that is a benefit, and they are really beautiful. They're definitely up my alley because they are more cool colors than warm colors. That is another benefit. And then I would say I have them pretty much ranked in the order of how I like them. So definitely blue, teal. This is the one I like the most. You could see some of that shading come through and how unique it is on the Tomoe River paper. And then on the coloring card, you can also see how you can get some dark colors and then some light colors. In the Tomoe River paper, the dark colors kind of outline the edges of your letters, which is something I really like. And so I'm really happy with the Pelican Appetite color. Next, this color really surprised me. It looked a little, iffy on the coloring paper, but rose color doesn't look as rose as I was imagining. So it's definitely a color I can work with and use in my fountain pens. On Tomoe River paper, I think I may have put a little bit too much on the paper because I was using my watercolor brush. That it looks like it's feathering on the edges. I think that's just me and user error, the way I applied it to the paper. And maybe I had some oils from my hand on the paper causing it to do that. But I don't see that happening on this paper. I will have to see if this is something that is going to cause an issue when I'm actually writing with the fountain pen. But other than that, this color is gorgeous. And you could really see all the shifts in color with the swatch. And it's a pretty color. I really like it, and I think I might have found the type of purple that I like. So as long as the ink behaves well on Tomoe River paper. Next color, this Colorverse NGC6302. It's very kind of like mediocre on the Colorverse paper. It looks very light, which is something that is not what I prefer. However, I can appreciate all the shifts in color on the Tomoe River paper. So there's some green, there's some gold shimmer, it looks like, and then blue on the edges. So it's very pretty. And so I'm glad I have Tomoe River paper to really show me all those unique colors. Whereas on the coloring paper, you can't really see it as well. So I'm excited to use this. And I think I'm actually surprised because when I first looked at the bottles, I was thinking maybe the larger bottle will have a color that is easier to read on paper, but it's actually the opposite. So the Colorverse Butterfly Nebula is even lighter than the Colorverse NGC 6302. So I'm not really sure how usable this is for me. It looks good, but then again, I am using a dip nib, which does oversaturate even light colors to me. So it makes it easier to read versus using an actual fountain pen. So we'll have to see how this looks. But on Tomoe River paper, I could see the shimmer or the glitter. I could see multiple colors coming out, like a purple, a blue, and then a green. And it's really pretty, very light. So hopefully I can use it. Fingers crossed I can use it for daily writing, but we'll have to see how that goes. So this month is definitely a win for me. Well, so what I'm going to do is continue with the subscription. So I'm really enjoying the subscription so far. Only one ink has been an ink that I already own, and I have since given that one away. And I'm okay with that because that was the first subscription, and one of the inks was technically a deal. It was like free because they were normally the subscription would have 3 inks. So again, this month there were 4 bottles, and I think that was pretty crafty of them to say that there's going to be 4 bottles and use the Colorverse as like a 4th bottle, since these packages come with 2 bottles anyway. So I'm overall happy with the subscription so far. The moment that I start receiving 2 inks or more that I own is the time that I will most likely end the subscription. So far we are doing good, and I'm excited to use these colors in future videos for currently inks or currently inked. And if you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.